Okay, Google. Turn on red light.
Red light is turned on.
Okay, Google. Turn off red light.
Red light is turned off.
IFTTT, which means if this then that, is very nice service that depends on your trigger. It will do certain things. So in our project, we set a trigger to be a Google Assistant. So whenever we say a phrase with a text ingredient, for example, turn $sign red light, where the $sign will be the text ingredient either on or off, and it will trigger a web request to this address. This is the public address. This is the public IP address of my internet that I set up. The way that I set it up already, it will directly connect it to the Wi-Fi module on the Arduino. So let's look at the code. So this is the code inside the Wi-Fi module. This will connect with the D5, D6 to the Arduino to A4 and A5 on the Arduino. So it will set up a server like this. It's a web server. So when it receives a request on red line, it will call this method handle red line, which is right here. So when it receives a request on the red line, it will also send a message about it. Red line, which is text field. Text field is the text ingredient that we set up here, either on or off. So red line on or off right here. So when it receives it, it will pass the message. It's a JSON. So it will pass a message. So if it red line on, we write this to the Arduino. So inside the Arduino, wherever it receives a message, it will call this function or receive event. So it will just double check if this char array is big enough to store the data, and it will store it into that. And this is important. We set new data issue so that we know that we have a new data. So the data will be passed, will be put into the data which is integer array. So in loop, we always check if there is new data, and we set it false so that we won't process anymore, and then we process the data. So in data, we'll basically just, if the data is 0, which is the command for data, and the 0 is 0, which is basically the command to turn off or turn off red light. So we basically digital write red light pin. This is the value either 0 or 1. Here either, so 0 right here will basically a command choose to for red light. 1 or 0 is a value. So we'll store that. In this, the data of integer of array. It will be the same thing for the timer. Let me go back here. So it will be the same thing for the timer. So we also to see the number increase there. So we'll also call this URL, but the method is different. This is now timer. I will send. It will also send a JSON body timer number field, which is the number in seconds. So it will go back to the Wi-Fi module. So we see from here to handle timer, the method to handle timer. So when the web server have a request a timer, it will go to this. So it will pass that, and it will start. So one right here is the command to turn on to set the timer, and then the duration in second will be put to after this. You string cat to concatenate it. So inside the Arduino, the same thing happens. So all receive a new event. So we pass the data. So data at position 0 will be the command. So the data at position 1 will be the value of the command. So if data of the position 0 is 1, so we write to LCD with the value in seconds. So inside the write timer to LCD is basically just connected to the LCD. The object of the LCD is created up here. So it will just write, it will use millis to get the last time it run. So with every 1000 millisecond increment, it will set a new timer onto the LCD screen.
Okay, Google, turn on red light.
Red light is turned on.
Okay, Google, turn off red light.
Red light is turned off.
Okay, Google, set my timer for 5 seconds.
Timer is set.
Okay, Google, set my timer for 10 seconds.
Timer is set.